What's good, everybody? An absolute bomb just dropped, and I don't say that lightly. I don't say that lightly, and I'm going to give you details as to why I feel this is an absolute bomb. If you have any interest on whether or not Jim Harbaugh is leaving Michigan and possibly coming to our Las Vegas Raiders, I suggest you watch this video. So before I get into it, Robert Carr and Carlos C. are the winners of my recent giveaway. Email me. My email is down below on the ticker. Email me so I can give you the instructions to redeem your giveaway. And for everybody out there, if you're not subscribed, please like this video and subscribe so you're included in my next giveaway at 2,500 subscribers. I appreciate all you guys, and I appreciate everybody that actually puts comments down. I'm responding to almost all of them because I love the engagement. I love talking to the Raider Nation, seeing what you guys have to say, and giving my responses. I love it, and I appreciate all you guys. So let's get into this just a little bit. There's rumors, not confirmed, but there are rumors that Mark Davis does have a contract ready for Jim Harbaugh after the football season, after the college football season. Obviously there's huge interest. There's ties to Jim Harbaugh and the Raiders. Mark Davis does respect Jim Harbaugh, and there's a certain somebody in Mark Davis's ear that I think is vying for Jim Harbaugh as well because of the connections. And I'll get into that in just a little bit. But let's go back to Michigan. Michigan wanted to sign Jim Harbaugh to an extension prior to Christmas. They had a 10-year, $125 million contract on the table ready to be signed. Jim Harbaugh didn't sign it. Now, I do think that Jim Harbaugh is possibly betting on himself, but there's more to the story, and I'm going to get into that in a second. But I think Jim Harbaugh is betting on himself. There's a saying in business that I've kind of stuck to. I've been in business for a little bit, and there's a saying in business that I've kind of stuck to through the years. And the saying is, you're not worth what you think you are. You're worth what you negotiate. And I think that's what Jim Harbaugh is doing. If he wins the national championship, that amount of negotiating, that piece of his resume, by winning a national championship, when he puts that on the table, I mean, he could maybe squeeze a little more money out of Michigan, but also there's a lot of NFL teams. Analysts are saying there's anywhere between 4 to 5 NFL teams that are interested in Jim Harbaugh as well. So he wins a national championship. That's even more of a negotiation tactic to kind of bring to the table to any team that he speaks to. So, let me know in the comments down below. One, do you think if Jim Harbaugh wins the national championship, he stays at Michigan? The only reason why I say that is because I think the college football platform, the environment is very conducive to Jim Harbaugh. I think his personality fits it extremely well. There were some rumblings when he left San Francisco that some players he didn't sit well with some players. He kind of overstayed his welcome in some cases. And so I think the college football scene does fit him extremely well. So let me know in the comments down below. Do you think Jim Harbaugh stays at Michigan if he wins the national championship? Again, there's another piece to that puzzle, and I'm going to get into that in just a second. So there's another huge indicator. There's a massive indicator that if he does leave Michigan, and I will tell you in a little bit why I think he's going to leave Michigan, but there's another piece to this puzzle, and there's an indicator that kind of links him to our Las Vegas Raiders. And one is Jim Harbaugh has never had an agent represent him in the NFL. He's never had an agent. But as of just a couple of days ago, news broke that he did hire on Don Yee as an agent to represent him in the NFL. And who is Don Yee? He is the agent of Tom Brady. We all know who Tom Brady is, and we all know that Tom Brady has the ear of Mark Davis. He's already a part owner of Las Vegas Aces. He's trying to get part ownership within the Raiders. And Mark Davis has a ton of conversations with Tom Brady. So we also know that Tom Brady is a Michigan alumni. He's from Michigan, right? Where's Jim Harbaugh, the head coach of Michigan? So everything kind of ties together. And I do believe that Jim Harbaugh's wife grew up in the Las Vegas area. And Jim Harbaugh was the quarterback coach of Rich Gannon back when we went to the Super Bowl in 2002. So all these pieces are kind of coming together, and that's not even the bomb. That's not even the bomb that was just dropped yesterday. And so, one might ask, why does Jim Harbaugh want to leave Michigan? Why does he want to leave Michigan when he's worked his way to a national championship? He just might win the national championship come Monday. Why would he want to leave Michigan, or why do we think he's going to leave Michigan? And this is where the bomb drops. Now, Paul Philbaum, and I'm going to put up his picture real quick just so we all know who we're talking about here, right? So Paul Philbaum, he dropped a bomb today. Now, Paul is what I would compare. He's one of the top analyst reporters for college football. He's basically the equivalent to Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport. If any of those guys, if Adam Schefter or Ian Rappaport just one day said, Patrick Mahomes is leaving the Kansas City Chiefs, everybody would go nuts. This is basically who Paul Philbaum is. He is the Ian Rappaport, the Adam Schefter of college football. And he went on just yesterday and basically broke down why he basically said that Jim Harbaugh will leave Michigan after this season, after the national championship. And there's some reasons why that make really a lot of sense. So number one, he said that Jim Harbaugh has basically accomplished what he's wanted to with Michigan, right? He's come in, he's turned the program around, he's proven that he could do it, not only at Stanford back in the day, right? But he's proven that he could do it with another program, and he did it specifically with Michigan. Now, if he wins the national championship, I think this takes it to a whole nother level. But he said that he believes that Jim Harbaugh feels he has completed everything that he's wanted to. He's accomplished reviving the Michigan program like he wanted to. Now, here's a big one. There's also ongoing investigations in regards to Jim Harbaugh and the reasons why he was suspended early in the season. If you remember, Jim Harbaugh was suspended twice during this last college football season. He missed 6 games. He served 2 suspensions for just certain allegations. One was stealing signs, and another one was just lying about something petty, but he was lying about buying food for certain players during, I think it was recruiting trips or what have you. But he basically lied to the NCAA, and it doesn't matter how big or small the lie is. You lie to them, it doesn't sit well. So the NCAA is still investigating this, and there's rumors that they're probably going to drop another suspension on him due to some of the findings that they're uncovering. And so does Jim Harbaugh want to go through that whole situation? And it's starting to come out, not with Jim Harbaugh, with other coaches, other organizations, that the NCAA is cracking down on a lot of things. And so Jim Harbaugh might walk his way into next year with more suspensions. Does he want to deal with that? And so that's why Paul Philbaum, I think he basically is looking at that situation, is saying Jim Harbaugh wants, not out of Michigan specifically, but I think he wants out of college football. And if he's going to choose any time to do it, this is the time. You've made it to the national championship. If you win the national championship on Monday, that is just more firepower, more negotiation power to get yourself to a really good job in the National Football League. Now, this kind of reminds me of, if you guys remember back in the early 2000s when USC was a powerhouse. This kind of reminds me of the Pete Carroll situation. Pete Carroll was winning national championships, and then out of nowhere, he up and leaves USC. And then all the communications and financial tampering that was going on with Reggie Bush, those dropped, and now we all knew why Pete Carroll exited USC. He was on the top of the college game when he did, and everybody was like, why? It was really questioning why he did it. And now we all know. This kind of feels like the same thing. This kind of feels like Jim Harbaugh is going to exit out of college football before a lot of other bombs drop. and now he's in college football, or he's in the NFL, and he can kind of put that behind him for the most part. So that's huge. That is huge news, and that's huge reasons why Jim Harbaugh might find his way out of Michigan and come to the NFL. Now, why do I say that there's a good chance that he might be coming to our Las Vegas Raiders? One, because of all the ties that I just mentioned previously in the video, but also we have a team just a few hour drive away from our Las Vegas Raiders, and that's the Los Angeles Chargers. There's a head coaching vacancy over there, and that is a good roster. That is a very attractive roster for any head coach to walk himself into, right? You got Justin Herbert. You got Austin Eckler. You have a Pro Bowl receiver out of Keenan Allen. You have an offense. You have a great left tackle out of Rashawn Slater. You have an offense to build off of, a high-powered offense to just start building off of right away. And you got a good defense. Now they're going to have to lose a couple pieces because they got some salary cap issues. Derwin James might be on his way out. Khalil Mack might be on his way out. But that is a very attractive roster for any NFL coach to walk into. Now, let me ask you, do you think that Mark Davis might hire Jim Harbaugh just out of fear of possibly losing him to the Chargers? Because that's a reality. That is a real situation that could happen. If Jim Harbaugh works his way into the NFL, he could find his way with the Chargers, and now we're going to face him twice a year in the same division. Do you think Mark Davis might hire Jim Harbaugh just strictly out of fear of losing him and him signing with the Chargers? Let me know in the comments down below. So that's kind of me breaking this thing down. It is extremely interesting. Again, I wouldn't say it's a bomb if it isn't, because I do think Paul Feldbaum of ESPN, of college football, him coming in and basically saying, he didn't say I think, he said that Jim Harbaugh will be leaving Michigan at the end of the season, and he broke the whole thing down. I appreciate you guys sticking with me. If you can, please like the video, subscribe, turn on those notifications. I will be dropping more videos in regards to our matchup this weekend against the Broncos. I'm going to give you some pros and cons. After the Broncos game, I'm going to give you my opinion of of who I think should be the head coach, and then also I'm going to give you some pros and cons of Antonio Pierce versus Jim Harbaugh, because I think those are the two names that are completely heating up right now, and I want to kind of break down the pros and cons and get your guys' input on that. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me. Again, like, subscribe, turn those notifications, and I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out.